what do you know now that you wish you knew in college?
So what do I know now that I wish I knew in college? So it's a really interesting question because it allows me to speak to the fact that I was a non-traditional student when I came to Brooklyn College. I had worked significantly in my area, and I didn't mention that I leverage what I know about education and how to sell products and services from the perspective of a marketer. My background is in branding and marketing, and I also assist entrepreneurs with how to shape their narrative for commerce, right? So how to help people who sell things tell their story to people who need stuff, right? Including education. What I wish I knew when I was in Brooklyn College was that I was already enough. I teach a class at Brooklyn College every year in partnership with the Magner Center called How to Bring Your A Game. It is a course that I designed with us in mind, coming from a commuter college, coming from a public university. It is not a secret that sometimes many of us feel that we're not quite actualized, that we're not enough. And what I want you to understand as you have these incredible champions on this panel, and I'm very honored to sit alongside the individuals who are giving you gems today, because I am also collecting gems. You never get too old or too accomplished to have a new gem dropped on you. So remember that humility as you step into your gladiator level of life as well. But what I wish I knew then was that I was already every bit of enough. You will find as you enter the workforce, as you re-enter, as it was just said, that someone mentioning transitioning, you're always going to be in a constant state of evolution, professionally and personally, until we leave this earth. We're always going to be renewed, right? Our brains, our abilities are all renewable resources. But there was a time where I felt like I was not quite where other people were, right? Other could mean different levels of privilege. Other could mean so many different things. So what I wish I knew then, and what I want to convey to all of you, is that not only are you enough, you're very much and oftentimes going to be the answer that everybody needs. Because what we have here is grit. We have brilliance. We have a level of get things done that I haven't seen anywhere else. And I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that I was already enough. Anything else you wanted to ask me to partner with that? Because I see some chats coming in. Oh, absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah, they're just saying wise words, and they are very much wise words. I think a lot of us have that imposter syndrome, like,
yes. And imposter syndrome is it's something that must be discussed, regardless of your socioeconomic status, regardless of your ethnicity. It's so important that we speak to these things, because oftentimes career platforms and success-oriented strategies are pretty much repeats of the wheel. We already know that you have to nail your interview. We already know that you have to look the part. But what we want you to know is that you're already enough of every bit of personality, and positioning, because of who you are, not in spite, not despite, but because of. So when you harness the fact that you are already incredible, because of the story of your grandparents, because of the story of your parents, because of the trials and tribulations, and in addition to your pursuit of excellence, you will pull that arrow back and you will hit the target every time, even when you lose, because you'll learn.
I agree with everything Doris just said. Like, I also struggled with the not being enough. And I used to feel that I had to be who other people wanted me to be in order to be accepted. And when I finally realized that I just need to be myself, things flowed more easily for me, and I was less stressed out about all of that. And so when you reach that point within yourself, when you realize you are enough, it's a very empowering space to be. So yeah, I just wanted to echo everything that Doris just said.
First of all, I want to echo what Doris and Jennifer said, because, you know, mental health is incredibly important in every stage of your life, especially when you get into the workforce. When you leave college, there's pressure to be successful because you want to make sure you didn't waste your time and your money. When you get the job, you want to make sure that you are absolute best because you want to prove, you know, the significance of why you are hired. When you're fighting for a promotion, you want to prove that you deserve that promotion. And all the time you are spent proving, we spend the prep time trying to make ourselves what we already are. And to echo what Dora said, what Jennifer said, like, number one, you are enough. Number two, you have the abilities because they hired you, or they're interested in you. They want to talk to you. You are the asset. You just remember that. I'm gonna say that again. You are the asset. If they're talking to you, you have a skill or have something that they want. I'm not saying to go in there saying, like, like you own everything, but have an understanding that you're not playing from a place of weakness if somebody's coming to you, or you're going after this opportunity. But one thing I would say that in the mental health journey and is taking time to stop and to realize that everything does not have to happen today. And because it doesn't happen today, doesn't mean it's the end of the world, that it's not going to happen. Just because someone says no doesn't mean it means no. Sometimes it just means not yet, or not with that person, or not with that situation. And one thing I had to learn during the course of the many failures, and I've said this many times before, I am in love with failure because I learned way more from failure than I ever will with success. And because of those many failures, I have learned one thing. It is not going to happen in the 24 hours in which you woke up. And just because it doesn't happen doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Take it one day at a time. Take time for your mental health. If you're not okay, you take time and make that a priority, because you can't service and help someone else if you aren't helping yourself and you aren't taking care of yourself. It's pivotal then. It's pivotal now. It'll be pivotal 5 years from now when you get the job, when you go after, when you start your company, when you become a millionaire. It's still going to be pivotal then. All this stuff and accolades don't mean anything if you are not okay. And just because someone says no doesn't mean that you aren't good enough. Somebody's going to say yes. My mother and my parents told me, you can get 1,000 no's. You get one yes. Everything else doesn't matter. All of those things, I'm okay with it. Tell me no, that's fine, but tell me why. I'm going to ask you why. And so I can take that. Okay, that's fine. But it's not the end of the world. When I was coming up as a student, I'm from Brooklyn. So everything is always go, 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 go. You don't stop until the job is done. Yeah, you work late, you go home. It's a badge of honor. Now working in the biggest sports broadcasting company in the world and running mental health for them, I realized how wrong that was, because I interact with people older, younger, in between, coming up, that say, hey, look, I am burnt out and I'm tired and I'm in pain. And before you look, you want to accomplish so much, but then you look up and realize, like, man, I'm hurt. But I didn't have to be hurt because I should have taken some time. So take some time, focus on your mental health. It's going to happen. You are fantastic at being you. And that's the most important thing.
What I didn't know when I left college was I was already me. And it was my values that really was the essence of who I was. And that I would take that with me always. And it would be critical in every situation I was in. And I didn't quite understand all of that. I thought I had so much more to learn and I did, about so many things, but I didn't have to learn more about values and what was important in life and what was important to me and all of that. And I tell people when they ask me about, a long view of careers and so forth, there's nothing more important than bringing your values to the situation. And to me, amongst them, everybody's got to formulate their own words and so forth. You should have them and they should be ready for you. It's not like, oh, I have to stop and think about it. I mean, you should always, careful how I say that, you should always be thinking about it, but they don't change every day. Your values are your values. You may refine it. You may find a new way to actually use them and assign them to a situation. But one of the things that John said that I just want to repeat, and maybe, it wasn't, he said so many wonderful things, but when he talked about how he got his skills, sometimes it was from people above him. Sometimes it was from people below him. Sometimes it was people from next to him. Respect for people all around you, above you, below you, next to you, is a very critical issue in success in going into the future. All people are to be respected. All people are to be valued. All people have an opportunity to provide you with something meaningful and useful. And you have that for others. That to me is the most important aspect of moving through your business career, your life career, whatever you're doing, because you show up with that and good things happen. Not necessarily in the next 24 hours, John's right about that, but it comes back. It comes back big, because being kind, being thoughtful, being respectful, being considerate to other people will be what sets you apart at the end of the day. All your skills are fabulous and you'll get them, you'll have them, they're wonderful. But as a human being, that's the important thing. And when you look at the long game, that's the game you want, is to be a great human being.
Make sure to check out the My Career tab on the BC Navigator app, where you can track your career progress based on the amount of credits you've earned, stay updated on upcoming events from the Magner Center, and watch our videos for insight and advice on your career field.